When you hear the name Afghanistan, what comes to mind? War, conflict, dusty deserts? But behind that familiar image lies another Afghanistan, an Afghanistan of breathtaking mountains, turquoise lakes, ancient cities, forgotten civilizations, and cultures that have survived for centuries. Today, we're going beyond the headlines to discover the Afghanistan you've never seen before. So let's begin our journey. Our first stop is Bamyan Valley. As the morning sun touches the rugged cliffs, green fields slowly come alive below. Farmers begin their work while the enormous empty niches carved into the mountains remind us of a remarkable past. More than 1,000 years ago, this valley was one of the most important crossroads of the ancient Silk Road. Merchants, travelers, monks, and scholars passed through here, carrying not only silk and spices, but also ideas, religions, art, and knowledge. The famous Bamyan Buddha statues once stood here as some of the tallest Buddha statues in the world. Although the statues themselves were destroyed, hundreds of caves and ancient paintings still remain in the cliffs, silent witnesses to a civilization that once flourished here. But Afghanistan has another surprise. Deep inside a dry and rocky landscape lies a place that looks almost unreal, Band-e Amir. 6 deep blue lakes surrounded by dramatic limestone cliffs form one of the country's most spectacular natural landscapes. The water changes from deep blue to turquoise and emerald green, depending on the light. In the middle of a land often associated with deserts and mountains, these crystal-clear lakes seem almost impossible. It feels less like Afghanistan and more like another planet. From natural beauty, we move into ancient history. Hidden among Afghanistan's remote mountains stands the Minaret of Jam, a towering brick monument built around the 12th century during the Ghurid era. Its walls are covered with intricate geometric patterns and beautiful Islamic calligraphy. For centuries, this remarkable structure remained largely unknown to the outside world. Today, it stands as one of the most extraordinary surviving monuments of medieval Afghanistan. Further west lies Herat, a city with more than 2,000 years of history. Alexander the Great once passed through this region, and later Persian and Timurid rulers transformed Herat into a major center of art, architecture, poetry, and learning. The ancient Herat citadel still rises above the city, and nearby stands the magnificent Herat Grand Mosque, famous for its brilliant turquoise and blue tile work. When sunlight touches those tiles, the walls seem to come alive. They tell the story of an era when art and architecture reached extraordinary heights. Travel north, and the landscape changes once again. Here we find Balkh, one of the oldest cultural centers of the region. Once a major city and an important center of learning, Balkh witnessed the rise and fall of powerful civilizations. But in the 13th century, Mongol invasions brought devastating destruction. Today, only ruins and fragments remain, a silent reminder of a city that once stood at the heart of Central Asian civilization. Nearby, in Mazar-i-Sharif, stands one of Afghanistan's most recognizable landmarks, the famous Blue Mosque. Its brilliant turquoise domes and walls make it one of the country's most visually stunning religious sites. The courtyard is also famous for its many white pigeons, which have become part of the identity of this sacred place. Now let's head east. Suddenly, the dry landscape disappears. Towering mountains, green valleys, forests, and small villages create a completely different Afghanistan. Welcome to Nuristan, the land of light. Mist floats through dense forests, while sunlight filters between the trees. Traditional homes cling to mountain slopes, and local communities continue to preserve unique traditions, music, craftsmanship, and cultural heritage. It is difficult to believe that such lush landscapes exist inside a country so often portrayed only through images of deserts and conflict. And then comes one of Afghanistan's most remote regions, the Wakhan Corridor, a narrow strip of land stretching between Tajikistan, Pakistan, and China. For centuries, this remote corridor connected Central Asia with the Indian subcontinent. Today, small villages sit beside rivers, while enormous mountains rise into the sky. At higher elevations, Wakhi and Kyrgyz communities continue traditional pastoral lifestyles, moving with their livestock across seasonal grazing lands. Here, the modern world feels very far away. But Afghanistan isn't only mountains and lakes. In the south and southwest, vast, dry landscapes stretch toward the horizon. The Dasht-e, or Desert of Death, is one of the harshest environments in the region. Water is precious, shade is precious, and survival depends on generations of knowledge passed from one generation to the next. Yet even here, life continues. Small communities survive among the sand and stone, adapting to one of the planet's most unforgiving environments. And perhaps that is the most remarkable thing about Afghanistan. Its story cannot be told through war alone. It is a story of mountains and deserts, of ancient cities and forgotten civilizations, of turquoise lakes and hidden forests, of faith, culture, resilience, and extraordinary natural beauty. As the sun disappears behind the mountains, the Afghan landscape turns golden and red. Another day comes to an end. But tomorrow, the people of these valleys will wake up and begin again. This is the Afghanistan you rarely see. A land of hidden beauty, ancient history, and stories still waiting to be discovered. And perhaps somewhere beyond the next mountain, there is another secret waiting for us. This is Blue Orbit. If you enjoyed this journey, subscribe to Blue Orbit and join us as we explore the hidden wonders of our extraordinary planet. Until our next adventure, stay curious, keep exploring, and see you in the next journey.